In this video, I'm going to be showing you my exact C.R.A. ad system, which makes me over $80,000 a month at 16 years old. This is the most valuable video I've made to date. It's very in-depth. So with that said, let's get right into it with the foundation of what C.R.A. ads actually are. Now, these are Instagram video ads, which use the framework I'm going to break down in this video with psychological triggers, which cause people to actually click on the ad, which result in either an Instagram follower or an inbound DM. And I know it sounds complex, but I'll break it down for you step by step. And, I'm going to keep as much as I can in templates whilst ensuring you actually learn the foundations as well. And C.R.A. ads are way better because they're low ask, right? Once again, we're asking people to follow on Instagram. That's a small ask. It doesn't cost someone a lot to just follow you on Instagram, especially when they feel the need to reciprocate, which is one of those psychological biases, which I'm going to touch on later in this video. And so it's a low cost. It's a very high volume approach. You can get a lot of people. And it's also one-to-one. I'm going to talk about how to use one-to-one human connection and foster that trust to actually close people instead of a low trust VSL funnel. So with that said, let's jump right into it. Now, the actual overview here is we start off with market research, then we build a swipe file. This is like a file with all the necessary information when it comes to creating ads. Then we plan out your campaign, we script them, then we produce them, and then we launch them and scale them. So to start off with market research, there are a few types of market research. There's competitive research, creative research, and customer research. If we talk about customer research, this is by far the most important, and it's actually understanding your customer, because as much as people can make videos about, different ad formulas and different ad frameworks, none of those are going to perform if they're not, if they don't have the right information embedded, if they don't have the right targeting embedded to actually target the right customer. So it's really important we understand this and that we use the right desires, the right pain points, the right emotions, all these different things, and craft that ideal customer profile, which we get into on the swipe file. Then we have creative research. This is going on, talking about the specific ad creatives, the formats that we should use, the organic trends and the angles. Now, to break this down, a format is like the actual kind of way an ad looks, the way we kind of, visually structure an ad. So a format could be video and another format could be image. And you can go deeper into formats, into primary formats, which is like video, image, just like the actual source file. And then you can go secondary formats. Is it like a reel? Is it a story? And then you can go into organic trends, which are what is currently performing on that platform at current. So an example of this could be, the mirror board style videos, which I'm creating at the moment. Another example could be the videos where there's the video and then there's like black bars on top and below. And then we have angles. Angles are by far the most important of all of these. And it's basically the reason why someone should click on your ad and someone should take the action. Okay. Then we have competitor research, which is also really easy to do. And it's literally going on ads library, looking at different ads competitors are running, looking at the offers they're running, looking at the websites they have, and all these different ways, which also allows you to tie these into the creative research, right? Because if you look on the ads library, you can see the creatives they're running. And if you look on the ads library and you break down the ad scripts they're running, you can actually consume the customer information. And so using ads library as the foundation for all of this is extremely important. Now I want to talk to you about a swipe file, which is just a document to have beside you while scripting ads, and it literally breaks down your entire ICP. Now, I want to just give you this, so it's a ChatGPT prompt right here. Feel free to take a screenshot of this and use it, because basically very simple, and it gives you the document with everything you need. And so you can see mine right here. Biggest pain points: inconsistent lead flow, time constraints, no structured systems, pricing uncertainty, financial hesitations, then agitations. This is another thing I'll touch on, but they're important to have. And so now we go ahead and plan out the actual ad campaign. And so usually you want to have 20% of your spend go to retargeting, and then 80% of your spend go to the top of funnel. And so, for example, if we have a daily budget of $50, we would put $10 a day into retargeting, and we put $40 a day into the top of funnel. From there, the retargeting ads should have, for example, let's say we want to have 2 retargeting ads, they should have a minimum of 5 per day each. So you would have 2 different testimonial retargeting ads using, and I'll get into the copywriting right now, using the BAB format. So BAB stands for before, after, and bridge. So you talk about where the client was before working with you, then you talk about, where they are now, and you talk about how your solution actually bridged that gap, and how it was quick, how it was painless, and all the different things people really desire. Then when it comes to the top of funnel, it's a kind of general rule of thumb that CRA ads should have a minimum of $20 a day in the testing phase. So let's say, once again, we have a $40 a day budget, then cool, we'd basically put $20 a day into each of these. From there, I'm going to show you the exact scripting structure. Now, once again, a scripting structure and a framework is only as good as the information which you embed into it. So the first part is a hook. So you want to have a hook, and there are two ways you can do this. There's the TikTok method, and then there's the ads manager method. With the TikTok method, you literally go on TikTok, search up your industry, and look at the hooks of the best performing videos there, because if they can organically perform, that means they were able to adequately capture attention, which means that if you put that in an ad, it's also going to perform well. And then same sort of thing on the ads library, but you basically look at your competitors' ads library, you look for the oldest ads that they're running, because they're not going to run an old ad if it's not making the money. I would say at least 2 months is what you need, and then copy the hooks off that. You can literally copy it. One of my clients, Diego, you can see right here, this video had 3.2 million views, and we copied the hook word for word and just changed the ICP, the ages on this hook. Simple. Now, the hook is the most important part, and it kind of is in importance in chronological order, because if one of these parts is done badly, people will drop off and not see the other parts. So you need to have the best possible hook, and this is where you need to focus a lot of your attention. And the same goes for pre-ad scripting, right? Thinking of the different angles, planning out the campaign. I often spend 60% of my time just planning, and then 40% actually creating. Then I want to talk to you about the next part, which is the problems and the agitations. Now, these are really valuable to have, because people are more motivated by pain than they are by, a certain ideal outcome or a desirable outcome. And so if we use pain earlier on, and you can see right after pain, we have the CTA, the call to action. Why? Because we're basically pricking them with a blade, for example, and then that's making them feel pain, which is going to make them to take an action. So that's why we do that just before right there. Now, I usually use a 3-step process, which has worked really well. Step 1 is confirmation bias, then problems, and then agitate. Now, confirmation bias is basically confirming that nothing is their fault, that they're not lazy, that they're not stupid, etc. Now, the reason why this is so valuable to have is because of one reason. Now, the reason of that is that people don't want to feel like they're dumb. People don't want to feel like they're stupid. Even if they are, we don't tell them that in an ad, because they don't want to, they don't want to face the truth, and they're just going to skip the ad because it's that easy to do. Now, that's the first reason. The second reason is far more powerful, and that's that if we confirm this, then we're basically saying, look, the problem isn't you, it's this other thing. And so now they're fixated on fixing this other thing psychologically, that when we introduce that as a solution, they're going to want to fix it. So we're basically almost diverting the pain to something that's not them, but to something that they now want to fix. Because the human brain also, when you kind of bring up a problem like this, it opens a loop. This is like getting really psychological here, but it opens a loop, right? And the human brain always wants to close a loop. It doesn't want open loops at any time. And so these people now want to close the loop, which is why they're going to continue watching, and then they're going to get hit with that call to action. Now we talk about the problems. So these are literally just listing 3 of the most painful pain points in the swipe file, and then agitating them, which basically makes it more painful by making it permanent, by making it trapping, or by making it feel like, they're kind of decreasing and other people are speeding ahead of them. So basically their competition, for example. So those are 3 different ways, and you can see right here, it's the same thing. So you're earning 6 figures, that's a confirmation bias, right? But you're working long hours, stuck in the same routine, feeling drained, and maybe you're scared you'll be trapped in this loop for the rest of your life. So now this has made it permanent, this has made it trapping, and no one wants to be in that spot. So when we hit them with the mid-roll call to action right after, they're going to want to solve it, which is why then we have, and you can literally copy this word for word. If that sounds like you, go to my profile and drop me a follow where I'll show you how. And then we want to have your unique mechanism, right? So ours is the automated Instagram ecosystem has helped, and then you would have X number, the ICP. This is an authority line right here. So we basically say the unique mechanism that makes them curious has helped this amount of, and then whatever your ideal client is. So mine is high ticket business owners. So I would say 50 high ticket business owners just like you. And then you'll talk about the benefits which allow them to have the desired outcome. So the benefits could be fill their calendar with leads. So I've helped 55 coaches just like you fill their calendar with qualified leads, allowing them to scale to consistent 50K months. So then that's the actual real desired outcome. They want 50K months. And if you have a B2C offer, you can talk more of, things like traveling and, making money, freedom, all those different things. For B2B, what I've noticed, and this is a really good point for anyone watching, I'll kind of break down how things work between B2B and B2C. So with B2C, you can go really pain based. B2C, pain is great. But B2B, people don't really like pain, right? Because they kind of know what you're doing. They're more sophisticated, they're more switched on. And whilst you can use it, you don't want to do anything crazy like saying that they're permanently trapped or something, because they know that they're not. Like if you say, and you're worried you'll be trapped at 30K a month forever. No one thinks they're going to be trapped at 30K a month forever. Everyone knows that they're going to scale. They just don't know how. And that's why they're searching for the how. So B2B is more of a proof game. So B2C is pain and B2B is proof. You want to have like more desired outcomes for B2B and then back it up with a lot of proof. And that's what people care about in B2B, because once again, it's a more sophisticated market, whereas B2C is very pain focused. Anyway, now that we have this and we've introduced the solution, which is the unique mechanism, and tied benefits and a desired outcome to it, we then hit them with client results. So we have 3 different client results. So like name, who went from wherever the viewer's current situation is to their desired outcome without any excuses, or name, who went from X to Y in Z time with benefits. And this is just a cool general framework you can use. Now, what you'll notice is after problems and agitations in the hook, the rest of the ad is basically a template. And I've given you the template to use right here. So you could feel free to copy that. And now we come to my favorite part of the whole ad, which is an identity-based call to action, because people are going to take action around here unless they're skeptical, unless they don't believe you. And if they don't believe you, that's why we hit them with the client results right here to add that layer of proof. And then we have a final call to action where if they're still watching, we need to use what I call an identity-based CTA. An identity-based CTA is where we basically say, look, if you're tired of their biggest pain point and you actually want their desired outcome, then go to my page and drop me a follow. I'll show you. And then it will be like listing 3 different benefits for 100% free. So for example, how to launch your first Amazon FBA product step by step, even if you've never sold anything online. Then we also remove that little objection, start making sales while working your job, remove another objection, and build a system that can eventually replace your full-time income for 100% free. And now, once again, because we're just asking for followers, this becomes a complete no-brainer, because it's like, oh, it's free. And I'm learning all these 3 different things. And yeah, like it's going to show me in the content. It's a complete no-brainer. And so we can see right here, we have a few ads that you can see. This ad actually is crushing it for one of my accounting clients. So is your business crushing it every year, but you're losing more and more money to the government? And this is for you. And then we come to the agitation. You probably cross 6 or 7 figures in your business and feel like you've done everything right. So this is the confirmation bias. Then we kind of list out what they've tried. So then this is basically you've file your taxes on time every year, you hire the CPA, and yet still you owe more and more in taxes, and it feels like you're restarting your business from scratch. So that's the real problem. Like every year, these people are getting completely wiped out by taxes, and so that's how we're kind of making it seem in our. We're not making it seem like they're stupid when it comes to filing their taxes. We're making it seem like the government is the enemy here, and that they're taking the money, they're making them restart every year, but there is a solution, and it's not their fault. That's the framework that we use right here. And another thing to kind of take note of is we have the confirmation bias. We say they feel like they're doing everything right, and we list out what they've tried. This is like an expanded way of doing a confirmation bias. But when you say what they've tried and then say it still hasn't worked, that's also a great way to agitate things, because it's like, oh, I've tried all these things and nothing's worked. That means this problem is just beyond my reach and I need some help. So then it kind of primes them for the mid-roll call to action. And if you are wondering where that was the problem, we're actually having the problem in the hook. So the problem is in the hook for this one. Anyway, then we have the mid-roll call to action where it's like, look, if that sounds like you, then go to my profile and drop me a follow, where I'll show you how the unique mechanism has helped over 500, and this is a cool kind of bias we can use here, 500 American businesses. Now this has increased a lot of conversions, because it's like kind of using this principle of family. It's kind of creating a group of people that are relatable and just like you. So they're no different to you. They're not in a different country with different tax laws. It's 500 Americans just like you. And then we have the benefits. Pay legally 0 taxes, have full protection from IRS audits, and build long-lasting wealth. And then we have the social proof, and then we have the final call to action. If you're tired of watching, and then we have, of course, biggest pain points. The government take more and more of your hard-earned money, and you want to legally avoid 100% of your income taxes yearly. daily, then go to my page and drop me a follow. I'll show you how to legally slash your tax bill to nearly zero, unlock more cash flow to scale your business faster and smarter, and have full protection from IRS audits for free. So then it's basically a no-brainer offer once again. And now we come to this checklist I made, which I use in every single ad to kind of know that it's a good ad. So have we, immediately explain the biggest problem? Have we used a visual kind of language model to agitate their problem? So we've made it really like instantly understandable, because this is another thing. I see a lot of people using complex words and just explaining things difficultly or too niched that it's hard to understand in an ad. So you want to make sure it's simple, and you want to make sure you're using visual language that almost paints a picture in their mind that they can see, so they don't have to think too much about it, and then kind of evoke emotion, make sure it feels permanent, make sure it feels trapping, and make sure that the unique mechanism actually makes sense. Then you want to have the outcome by having benefits, and then the broader, like more desirable, what it means. And then when you introduce client results, include the number of people you've helped, and then get into the specifics. And the final CTA needs to use words like actually, or if you're serious, and should take them from pain to desired outcome. Okay, bang. From there, we have the ad creation process. So day 1 to 5, and this is kind of like a way to consistently create ads to get to a winning ad quicker, because I see a lot of people advertising emotionally, where it's like, when numbers are good, they don't make new ads. When numbers are bad, they make new ads. And so this is like a consistent way to make good creatives. So you can see right here, day 1 to 5, we have the ad creation. So basically creating an ad using the process I outlined in this video, then record it from day 5 to 7, have it edited from day 7 to 13, and then review it and launch it. And when it comes to launching ads, you want to have a testing phase right here, where you have a Facebook ads manager, you make a new campaign and you run it on CBO at $50 a day to test between Advantage Plus and manual targeting. So CBO basically just means that the budget is set in the campaign level, because the way that this is structured is you have the campaign, then you have the ad set, and then after that you have the ads. And so what we're trying to do is because the targeting is in the ad set level, we're trying to have Facebook split the budget between ad sets. So we would set the budget up here by using a feature called CBO, and then we would have it split the budget between the different ad sets. What this means is that Facebook is making all these different micro analyses and micro adjustments so that it can see, okay, this ad is outperforming the other ad. And so it's going to pour more spend into this specific ad set. Let's say this was Advantage Plus, okay? And it does the same thing on an ad level, right? Let's say you have, 2 different ads down here. It will actually pour the most spend into one that performs best. So you know that the ad to scale is just the one with the most spend. So I would test between Advantage Plus and then manual targeting just to see what works best for you. Have the same exact ads in the ad level, wait 3 days, and then to find the winners, you want to work out, okay, what ad has had the most spend and what ads have, what ad sets have had the most spend. From there, you want to then launch them. So post 1 to 3 winners organically on Instagram, leave it for 24 hours, and then just click the boost button, entering the winning targeting from the ad set with the highest spend, and then set a spend that you're comfortable with, but not too low, because you can't edit the spend. So like $25 or $100 per day per ad. And the goal is to get between $50 to $100 total spend, and just make sure to turn off the Facebook test unless it's getting results. Guys, I want to tell you about the snow globe analogy. I want you to imagine that advertising on Meta is like a snow globe, and anytime you make a change, the particles of snow go absolutely everywhere, and it's a complete mess, and it takes a really long time for them to settle. And so I know people who've literally changed a single comma in the ad copy, and the ad went to complete shit. It didn't perform at all, and it basically took them months to kind of recover and have new winning ads come out. Now, when it comes to analyzing it, I'm going to show you the simple way in this video. My clients kind of have the advanced way, which is the suggested way. But the simple way is basically, look, if it's less than $2 a follow, you want to calculate the lead quality. If it's above 10%, then you want to horizontally scale it. If it's below, then just keep it the same. If it's at $3 to $5 a follow and the lead quality is below 25%, kill it. If it's above it, keep it running. And if it's above $10 a follow, then just stop running it. We've kind of narrowed that down to even 5 recently, unless it's for like a really high ticket B2B, or it makes sense just based off, once again, the advanced method to continue running or even scaling that ad. And then I want to talk to you about horizontal versus vertically scaling the ads. So horizontal scaling is the best and safest option. If you remember the snow globe method I told you before, this is a way to make that not an issue at all, not a risk at all, okay? How do we do this? Well, we're basically launching the same ad again with different optimizations. So the first option is to just re-edit it. The second option is to just film new hooks. And the third option is to remake the ad with a better script, better hooks, better visuals, better edits, and so on. And then you just want to repost on Instagram, boost with the same targeting, and at least double the spend. And then vertically scaling it is by scaling the budget by 20% every 3 days, okay? So you just go on Meta, click like the edit button, and then change the budget by 20% every 3 days. Now, once again, vertically scaling is really risky, and that is the entire ad strategy in this video. And to kind of end off here, for anyone who's kind of curious, I just want to break down a few more psychological biases for you guys, because I personally just love them. So I'm going to talk to you about a few things. The first one is the reciprocation bias. So what we've seen is a lot of ads, we don't necessarily follow this framework. And what we do instead is we actually just have a valuable video or something funny where people feel the need to reciprocate. They feel the need to actually, check out what you're doing, check out your page, everything like that. So that's the first bias. And I want to talk to you about the herd bias. The herd bias is something where it's like, look, if you can get as much engagement as possible on a video, it's going to make people perceive that this is the right action to take, okay? What this means is that humans like to take these shortcuts in their mind, and we're trying to leverage these shortcuts. And one of these shortcuts is if they see other humans doing an action, they're going to take the action just like a sheep would. And so if people are following, if they see people following, if they see people commenting and all these things, then they're likely to take that action as well, because it seems like the right decision, the right thing to do. And so that's the herd bias. It's a really powerful one to use. And you can also do self-herding, right? So if you just keep showing someone an ad over and over again, they're eventually going to start watching it more and start having a better and more open mind to that ad. Now, with that said, this was a very long video. I hope you found value in it. It's very comprehensive, but this is the kind of video for people that want real results. And if you kind of want to fast track this process, you can DM me on Instagram, the word ecosystem, and you can basically talk to me and we can see if we can make something happen. I'm not really working with too many clients or taking too many people on at the moment just because we have a lot of plays going. But with that said, more importantly, subscribe to me here on YouTube for just daily videos like this one. And yeah, with the most crazy views. See you in the next one.